straight.
It's gonna come on. Huh?
Oh yeah, turn it on. Turn it on. Make sure you can get it to me. Came on yet?
Oh,
You got the volume all the way down? All right, it's all good.
search it again.
All right, there we go. All right, hey, put her up, because I don't need her disturbing me. Or you can take her outside. I don't want all that fucking barking and shit. All right, Shalom Yasharala. I want to start out by giving infinite honors to my Heavenly Father, my great King, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua by Hashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to my elder apostles and elder bishops, a great millstone. And salutation to my fellow laborers in the Mashak Yahushua, pushing the beloved truth across the four winds in this fine hour. Shalom to you brothers and you few. I walk you to take heed to this beloved doctrine. All right, I was in Elder Manata Zapbox live last night when he was going in on that guy ASAP for slander. All right, and I think these head guys in IUIC know the truth. You know, I think they just sold out and are just taking the money purse to teach lies. All right, because I mean, Nate grew up in One West. All right, he understands the difference between the way things was done in the ancient world and the way things are done in these modern times, and they just play on the ignorance of the people in these modern times. When you say words like grape, when you look at the way the marital age was back then, and you look at it now, and you try to apply things that were done in the ancient world, biblical times, now it would be taboo. All right, and if you got people in your congregation and they are here, the way things was done in the ancient world, that they're gonna go crazy and they play on the people's ignorance. All right, but they're not teaching the truth. Okay, so the Lord has laid them to be stumbling blocks for people He don't want to make it, but He's raised up His prophets to shed light onto lies that they're teaching. All right, to show them, look, this is a wolf. On this topic of marriage and how marriage was done in biblical times, the age of consent in biblical times. All right, it's not the same as things are done now here in these modern times. Okay, and that's what I'm about to go into. I don't want to write the size edifying to his hearers, and it doesn't take all day. Okay, so I got a few Wikipedia clips, a few articles, and then I'm gonna funnel everything through the scripture. All right, now this is from Wikipedia, marital age. All right, because you know what, I'm gonna play the slander from this nigga first. I'm gonna play the slander. First. That's how I'm gonna start off. You know what? I'm gonna start off with the slander. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Now listen to this guy, man. All right. Now he's supposed to be like our Lord told Nicodemus, you're a doctor of the law and you don't know these things. You're teaching the people the scriptures and you don't know these things. These are simple matters. All right, but he's using he's trying to use this ancient book. All right. Salaki, I'm getting the sword. All right. This is an ancient book. Okay. These scriptures, Holy Scrolls, is from the ancient world. All right. These are 3,000, 2,000-year-old prophecies, parables. All right. Scriptures. Okay. You cannot use modern day philosophies and Western philosophies and apply it to this, to apply it to these holy scriptures that was aforetime written in the ancient world. All right, you're gonna trip, you're gonna fall. All right, you're not gonna know the truth, and these guys know that, and that's why they say things like this.
Watch this. When the kingdom is established, we're gonna get women when they 12 years old.
You better find out. This
says he's no different from that Christian.
And he called our beloved elder apostle a pedophile, man. All right. In this modern times, yes, you deal with a 12-year-old, you're a pedophile. Okay. I look at you like that. I'm not gonna be over righteous. All right. In this society, the way you grew up, I'm talking about with my corner man. You got a 20-year-old, 30-year-old man looking at a little 12-year-old girl, you're gonna be like, this guy is not right. Okay. Yeah. All right. I understand the thought process, but our beloved apostle is talking as it pertains to the ancient world and the way things were done in biblical times. Are you going to tell your congregation, look, he's talking from that perspective? Our beloved elder apostle and no brother in Great Millstone is looking at no 12-year-old girl to deal with. He's saying what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven and how things were done in the ancient world. Now, while we here in Babylon in America, ain't nobody looking at no little 12-year-old once. All right, there, look, 12-year-old walk by. We don't look at her. Now, you do have 12-year-olds that hit puberty. Like my daughter, she's 14, but her body has got to the point where some girls that are 24 and 25 or 23 in college, my daughter is more grown up than them. She's thicker than them. She's the Lord made her hit puberty fast. All right. You got chicks I know that are not my daughter's size, all right? And if you don't look at my daughter's face, if you don't look in her face, all right, if you just looked at her body, you'll think it's a grown woman, but when you look in her face, you see her youth, okay? And somebody like my daughter in the ancient world, all right, will be given away at her age right now because she can bear children, okay? That's the way things were done in the ancient world, and that's what we're about to get into, okay? And the slander, all right? Every idle word, you niggas are going to be judged. All right. Slandering the Lord's elect is going to get you judged. Let me get that. All right. Elder Gabar said on the comment board the other day, he said, man, Elder Apostle told I can't get a break. All right. But that comes with the territory, man. It comes with the territory. Blessed are you when men revile you. All right. So he's getting blessed for that. This is Isaiah 54:16. That's not what I want. 17, verse 17. No weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. All right. So slander is a weapon. And what do people use slander for? To make other people look at a person in a dim light. All right. To assassinate people's characters. Man, being called a pedophile is one of the worst things you can be called in this society, man. Okay. So this is what the Lord said he's going to do to men that do that to his servants. And every tongue that rises against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn. This nigga's going to get condemned for saying that about our beloved apostle, man. These scriptures are laws, all right? The Lord watch over his word to perform it. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. Their righteousness of me, saith Yahweh Shem Shah. So woe to these men making all these, saying all these wicked ass things about the men of the Lord. All right. So listen, I'm gonna go to history and social attitudes. And the name of this clip from Wikipedia is what was marriageable age. All right. So what do? You go to history, the history of marriage. You go to the genesis of a thing to get a full understanding of anything. All right. If you want to be a Mason, you got to go know how Masonry was started. All right. If you want to be a basketball player, you really don't have to know it, but it's good to know how, I think his name was James Naismith, created the game. Whatever you're a part of, you want to know the genesis of it, the origin of it, okay? And when it comes to marriage and how it was instituted, you get it in the Bible, okay? And then you want to know everything that was around marriage. How old was a person when they got married, all right? And the only way you're going to know that, you have to go back into the way things were done in the ancient world, okay? Now, this is history and social attitudes. All right. In Greece, this classical antiquity. Okay. So they didn't even go back to biblical antiquity. Okay. They went up to the Greeks. Okay. And the Greeks was back there during biblical times. Okay. In Greece, females married young as 14 or 16. So I'm 43 years old. If I would have dealt with a 14-year-old, he would be calling me a pedophile. Okay. But back in the ancient world, people would look at you like it was a regular person. They're gonna look at you and shame you because that was the laws that governed them during those times. All right. That's the ancient world, BC areas. All right. During the BC, before Hamashiach hit the scene. This was the way of life in the ancient world. All right. Spartan marriages, females around 18, around 25. All right. Now, this is the point. Let's see what the Romans did. In the Roman Empire, the emperors Augustus introduced marriage legislation. All right. And what the Romans did don't count for us. Okay. But we're going to see how young they were when they married. I'm going to get straight to the point. All right. Women were vestal virgins was selected between the ages of 6 and 10 to serve as priestess in the temple goddess of Vesta in Rome for 30 years, after which they could marry, and they was perverts. And we don't do that. But this is the point right here. Noble women were known to marry as young as 12 years of age. All right. And this is in the Roman Empire. Our great king, the apostles, the early church all lived during the Roman Empire. All right. And women were known to marry as young as 12 years of age, whereas women in the lower social classes were more likely to marry slightly further into their teenage years. Okay. So these women got married around the ages of 12. Okay. I'm gonna skip down to in Roman law, age of majority varied being 25 or as high as 30. Though the age of marriage was 12 years old for females and 14 years for males. You pedophile. You pedophile. All right. All right. And this is the thing. He's playing on the lack of understanding and the lack of education that the people in his congregation have. All right. He's judging our beloved elder apostle to heart according to the so-called white man's standards in this day and time that has nothing to do with the Bible. All right. It has nothing to do with the scriptures. Okay. And that's why they say knowledge is power. It has a saying that says knowledge and power. When you don't have knowledge and understanding, all right, you can get manipulated. Okay. And the age of betrothal was 7 years, both age and males and females. Now that's biblical. All right. Your daughter will be 6 or 7, and you and your brother come together and be like, look, man, when my son become of age, you get your daughter, we'll pay your dowry. And look, that covenant will be made, and the child will be young as 7 years old. All right. The age of lawful consent to a marriage was 12 for girls and 14 for boys. Okay. What is this guy talking about? Okay. I'm gonna skip down, and it reads: in ancient Rome, the appropriate minimum age for marriage was regarded as 14 for males and 12 for females. They keep saying the same thing over and over. No. Let me go to historically. Historically, individuals was allowed to enter into a marriage contract at a very young age. This is the way of life in the ancient world. They coincided with signs of puberty, such as the start of menstruation. Hey, that's when you become a woman, all right? When you get your menstruation. When a woman gets her menstruation, what can she do? Bear children. For a female, all right, and the growth and the growth of pubic hair for a male. When you start getting that beard start coming in, all right, you start, as the old people down here say, you start smelling yourself. All right, your body's making semen, and if you shoot in any woman that has a period, a 12-year-old could shoot in a 30-year-old woman. She getting pregnant. Okay, in the ancient world, that's when you became a man. Okay, in ancient Rome, the appropriate minimum age for marriage was regarded as 14 for males and 12 for females. All right. So if you're in IUIC and you're letting this guy sway you because of your lack of understanding of the way things done in the ancient world, this is why they hate the men of Great Millstone. All right. Because we come and show them, and it's not personal. We're here to, the Lord say he set up your teachers, all right, to do watch over your souls in the Hebrews, the 13 chapters. And the way, and it's written in the book of Matthew, you should know the truth, and the truth should set you free. It's Matthew or John, Salaki, I'm roughly paraphrasing. Okay. Now let me get another clip. Okay. This is a clip from Children and Youth of History, okay? And then when you go to history, that you're going to understand the way things was done in the ancient world. That's the way you get to the bottom of a thing. It's called wormholes, all right? You go on a diligent search to get the truth, okay? So nobody could just tell you anything, all right? Children of Youth and Youth in History, and this is from what's the source? Man, I looked at it earlier. It is, they got the acronym, so I can't really give it. Bear with me. I remember when I was in college, they always say when you bring out an article or excerpt, you got to give your source. All right, but this, you type in Children and Youth in History, all right, you see it, you'll be able to pull it up. All right, age of consent laws table. And a notion, information of the age used historically in Western age of consent law is not readily available. The table has been compiled from a combination of historical and contemporary sources. Okay, Salakia for that. By 1880, the first date chosen, many Western nations had established an age of consent for the first time, typically of 12 or 13 years of age. You're not going to get around it. You pedophile, he needs to repent, man. Our great, Salakia, our beloved elder apostle was speaking of the way things was done in ancient Israel, in the ancient world. All right? He wasn't saying what he's doing here and now in these modern times, okay? So to call him a pedophile for only telling the truth of the way our people, because you got to understand, we lost our customs, we lost our culture. That's why we thinking like them dumb niggas. All right? The Lord is doing what? Putting everything back into our remembrance. He's giving us our high holy days. He's giving us our customs. He's giving it all back to us. And he set up the apostles of great millstone to give it to us, man. Freely they received, freely they gave it to us. All right, and you're going to condemn him and cuss him out for that? Woe unto you. All right? By 1920, when the influence of reform campaigns that established a new link between the age of consent and prostitution had run its course, most had revised their age upward to 14 or 15 in European nations. Still young. You will still be deemed a pedophile even if you went up in the 1920s. And in 16 in Anglo-American world. In these last decades of the 20th century, that's when it went up to 18 and 21. That's a new thing in the planet Earth. All right, you've been deemed an adult at 18 and 21. Okay, that's a modern day thing. That's a Edomite thing. That's a European thing. So when these so-called white people came into power, that's not how things were done in the ancient world. A boy could leave home at 12 and 13. All right, he'll leave home 12 and 13, 14, and come back at 20 and be established. Okay, you can even see that shit in the Western movies. Hey, Paul. Hey, Mo. He'll get all this stuff in a little sheet, put all his clothes in a sheet, tie it up to a stick, and carry it. Hey, Paul, I'm going to make some of myself. I'm going to join the military. All right, and the boy will be 13 or 14 and leave home, man. All right, that was even happening in the 20th century. States and nations with ages below those averages amended their laws to move closer to them. In Europe, growing conformity owed much to moves towards greater and European integration. Given that the rationale for the age of consent has remained essentially unchanged in its emphasis on the need to protect immature children. You see? So this is a modern thing. This is something that happened in the modern world, all right? The table highlights is the shifting in various definitions of childhood employment across the times and cultures, all right? So this is a graph from the 1800s to 1920s to the 07. All right, this one they started boosting up the age. In Austria, the age of consent to get married was 14. Bulgaria, 13. Denmark, 12. England and Wales, 13. France, 13. This is in the 1800s. All right, in Germany, and then it's after 1865, after slavery. All right, this is 15, damn near 20 years after slavery. Okay, Germany, 14. Luxembourg, 15. Portugal, 12. Romania, 15. Damn, in Russia, you could get married at 10 in the 1800s, man. Scotland, 12. Spain, 12. Turkey, 15. Okay? In Chile, 20. Okay? New South Wales, 12. Queensland, 12. Victoria, 12. Western Australia, 12. Alabama, 10. That's in America. Get the fuck? All right, and it just goes down in the 1800s. It's 10, 10 in most American states. In Mississippi, it's 10. Nevada was the only one with 12, but in most American states, it was 10 and 12, man. You can get married. The fuck? And then they had a reformation when you got to the 20s and it went up. But it's still, when it went up to 20, in the 1920s, it was 14, 16, 16, 14, you know, and a lot of them still stayed at 12. All right, but by the time you get to 2007, all right, it ballooned up. All right, and guess what? In most European countries in these modern times, a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old can get married. But over here in America, what would they be calling you? Oh, pedophile. Like today in modern day Austria, you can get married at 14. Okay, in Belgium, 16. Bulgaria, 14. In Denmark, 15. England and Wales. Man, damn, I ain't realized that was that low. Hold up. Fuck that shit. I don't want to vain jangle it. In Denmark, 15. Let me type this. All right. I did Austria. Let me type in Denmark. In 07. Let's see what it was in 07. Still ain't tell me in 07. In order to enter into marriage in Denmark, you must be 18 years of age or both be unmarried. I put 07. Yeah, I don't want to vain jangle. 2007. Because that clip goes up to 2007. And that's another thing I learned since I've been doing this. You don't have much. You got to go down a wormhole to find out. Okay, you have to literally go down. Okay, here goes something to back that up. All right, since Denmark legal age is 15. Would a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old be able to marry in a relationship? As long as the older person is position of authority over the younger person, it is legal. They can marry without parental consent. So it is 15. All right. In Denmark, you can marry as young as 15, but one of the persons have to be over 18. Okay. So that's not a bad excerpt. It's not a bad excerpt. Can a 15-year-old guy date a 25-year-old in Denmark where it's legal? Let's see what it comes back and says. Okay. Oh, shit, man. You trying to make you do all type of shit. I don't got time for that shit. All right. So lock you for that. But yes, that bagged up what I was just reading. That bagged it up. Okay. So, as you can see in the ancient world, I mean, in 2007, a lot of places in Europe, you know, a person 15, 16 and shit can get married. But here in America, they would be deemed Pedophiles. All right, you'll be deemed, man. America. Let me tell you, I have a little brother, a younger brother. He was a senior in high school. And he dated a girl that was 10th grade. Their parents got a whiff of it, and my brother was charged with statutory rape. And my brother was like 17, and she was like 15, and he got charged. All right, that's how fucked up America is. And after both of them got grown, they still was fucking around with each other. America fucked up. Okay, go to the same school, doing the same shit. And if he was 1 year older than her, it wouldn't have been a charge. All right. This is marriage ages in the Bible. What is the average of women in the Bible to give birth? What was the average of marriage in the Bible? All right. This is an article by a guy named Louis Rushmore. In biblical times, among faithful children of the Most High, marriage preceded producing offspring. Right? That's what it was all about. The Lord told us to be fruitful and multiply. Further, the Most High's people valued children to the extent that given good physical health by both prospective parents, children typically entered marriage as early as 9 months after the marriage. But the key question is, how old would they be when they get married? All right. Part of paragraph 3 of my editorial, Gospel Gazette Online, in February 2003, spoke marriages ages for biblical Jews. Okay. Also, under Judaism, boys can marry or make religious vows at 14 years old, and girls at 12 years old, only with parental permission. Because during our times, your father and your both fathers of the bride and groom would come together and put their children together. All right. So it was always, for the most part, with parental permission, which parental permission is required until the both boys or girls were 21 years old. All right. And he's talking about in modern times. Okay. Still further, except from my book, Biblical Companions, briefly addresses ancient biblical marriage customs. Ancient marriages were usually arranged between the oldest male family members within the same group of family clan. All right, Genesis 27:46 through 28. All right, this guaranteed the future existence of overall group and preservation of culture and values. Girls was given in marriage when they were old enough to bear children. That's all the elder Apostle Tahar was saying. He wasn't saying that we're looking at young girls. When he said we're gonna get them, when he said we're gonna get them young, we're gonna get them fresh, he was talking about the nation as a whole. He was talking about Israel as a whole. All right. He was talking about Israel as a whole. And then look, I'm telling you now, me at 43, when I go out and do my thing, I'd rather a girl that's 20. The fuck? When I go do my thing, I ain't looking for no chick my age. When I just want to play. Now, if I want a meal cooked or I want to spend some time with somebody I can have intellectual stimulating dialogue with, and I don't like to talk to females like that, but somebody a little bit mature, they ain't with all that. You don't got to tell them to shut the fuck up all the time. All right, I deal with a female closer to my age range, but if I'm going out to play and got some cake in my pocket, I'm going out to play, I'm gonna go get something younger and fresh, something firm, somebody young enough to be my fucking daughter. I'm 43, give me somebody 23. All right, I don't give a fuck about the opinion of a black bitch. Give a fuck. You can't mess with nobody age, bitch. I don't want nobody your age, bitch. Shut the fuck up. I don't think like no fucking American. All right. This guaranteed the future existence of overall group and preservation of culture and values. Girls were given in marriage when they're old enough to bear children. That's the Israelite way. Okay. That's our customs and our culture. We are not pedophiles. All right. That's instituted in our laws, man. Okay. These are the laws that governed us. Whereas men married when they either receive their inheritance, yes, because what man is going to give his daughter to another man if he can't take care of her? All right. Marriage during our day and time, it was a business deal. All right. It was about the shekels. I ain't gonna fake it. First and foremost, it wasn't about the shekels. All right, you're gonna give your daughter to a man that fears the Lord. All right, the two fathers are gonna court one another. All right, you're gonna give your daughter to a man that you know raising his son up in the name of Yahweh Shem Abashai. All right, then you're gonna talk about shekels. You are gonna talk about shekels. All right, you're gonna talk about shekels, land. Some females' dowry might be higher than others. Okay, give me some fatted calves. All right, some chickens. You know, give me some horses, a pound of gold. You know, those are the things we did. All right, in our nation. All right. It was also common for the groom to give a dowry. That's what I was just saying. Or purchase a wife in his future father-in-law. That's our customs. Now, if you say do that today in this day and time, it's taboo. People are gonna look at you like you crazy. All right? They're gonna look at you like you crazy. Oh, you trying to buy my daughters? That or ASAP will say some shit like that. That's a dumb nigga. He's either a dumb nigga, or he just sold out and he's all about the Benjamins, baby. And I could commend him if he bought the Benjamins, but at what cost? You're gonna lose your soul. You're gonna get burnt in the lake of fire. Either a dumb nigga, like Nate say, or he don't know. I mean, he's a dumb nigga that's uninformed and not educated properly, or he know the truth and he just saying whatever it takes to get simpletons to give them money. All right, a money racket. All right. And they either receive their inheritance or obtain their own resources. It is also common for the groom to give a dowry or purchase his wife from the father-in-law. In the case Jacob, since he evidently had no such dowry, he indulged himself and his father-in-law in exchange for his wife. All right, that's our customs. Let me see what else. It is something else where it's going to touch on age again. I'm gonna read this. During the first century, however, it appears to have been a general rule that young people of age could arrange their own marriage. All right, and that's how it is now in the modern times. And you heard what he said during the first century. So that's not the modern times. All right, but later down the road, it started switching up. Okay, a girl was considered considered of age at 12 years and 1 day. You see, and we go to that 12 years old again. All right. Now this talking about Israelite customs. All right. So what is this nigga talking about? What is this nigga here talking about? Let's see. What is this guy talking about?
Blake, you gonna allow one of your brothers to rape your daughter?
You say rape as if rape simply means to grab.
No. He's talking about. No, we read the verse. No, where someone was in the kingdom of heaven. Hey, look.
And that's true. He just told you the meaning of the word rape just means to grab, to seize. It don't mean beat a bust a woman nose, do all this stuff. But let's keep going.
Watch this. When the kingdom is established, we're gonna get women when they 12 years old.
You pedophile. He's no different from that Christian.
This is a bitch. Hey, that's a BAN. That dude there, brother. That dude, we got these commands, no homines attack. He's uneducated, all right? He don't know. He doesn't know. Oh man, that's a man, these dudes there, bro. Now look, what's the difference from what Elder Apostle Tahar said in this article we read? He said we're gonna get them young, we're gonna get them when they're 12. And what he's saying, we're gonna get, I got a precept. And this is basically what he's saying. All right, we going back to Eden, man. We're gonna when our great king come, I got 2 precepts. All right. We're going to do things the way we did before we were taken out of power. We're not going to do things the way this devil does things, man. All right? This is Isaiah 42:21. Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. All right? Our law say we see 2 men kissing, we could put them down on sight. We see a woman cheating on her husband or a man dealing with another man's woman. We want to make that law honorable. We're going to be able to enforce it. All right? During our law, you could deal with you could go pay a dowry and pay for a girl that's 13, 12, or whatever. All right. We're going to get back to our customs that we had before we were taken out of power. This is Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. All right. Is this what I want? Is it? Jeremiah 6 and 16. Thus saith Yahweh, stay in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. We're going in the old paths, man. We're going to do things like we did in the ancient world, man. We're not going to, 2 Peter the 3rd chapter say this way of life is going to burn away with fervent heat. This fashion of life is going to be remembered no more, okay? We're going to get them young like the beloved apostles say. We're going to get them young and fresh, man. And fuck anybody else that got a complex with it. Are we going to do it here in this society, in this day and time? Fuck no, we ain't no damn fools. But when our kingdom is ushered in, yeah, when the kingdom of heaven is in, we're going to get them young and fresh. All right? And fuck you and your horse that you rode on if you got a complex about it. We're going back to the old paths. Whereas the good way, that's the way when things were good. Life was good. Before we fell, man, life was good. The good way. And walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. But they said we would not walk therein. And that's what Asaph is saying. He'll rather walk into the ways of the heathen. All right? Who said you was a pedophile for doing such things? The so-called white man taught him that. All right? He's of his father, the devil. All right? And the lust of his father he would do. Okay? Is that it on this one? Nope. I'm going to read a little bit more. All right? The Jewish rabbi set the minimum age for marriage at 12 years old for the girl, 13-year age for the boy. A boy should certainly be wed by the time he was 18 to 20. And the reason it was older for a boy, hey, it's like in this society, you got to get your money up, man. These chicks ain't fucking, hey, what the nigga say? She ain't fucking with no broke nigga, you know? And ain't no father. It ain't about a woman fucking with a broke nigga. A father's not going to give his daughter over to a woman that can't take care. Not going to give his daughter over to a man that can't take care of her. I wouldn't do that. Men are logical creatures. A woman to go to a guy with a blunt in his head that look good, guy. He got wavy hair. It's wavy. It's wavy. He a pretty boy, but he's not established. All right, he's not handling his business. Okay, because hey, some years ago I had a brother tell me. You know, I was dealing with a halfway decent chick, and he was like, say, brother, you got to tighten up with your money, man. You got to make sure you could take care of him. You know, the brother ain't around right now, but when he told me that, he was on point, man. Okay? If you're dealing with a halfway decent woman, you got to be able to take care of him. And the skeezers nowadays, you know, you got to have something. So that's why a boy wasn't getting married at 13 unless his father gave him an inheritance or something to get started. And that happened a lot. But he had to build up his wealth, okay? But betrothal was a vital part of marriage in biblical times, all right? Because it was a business deal too. Once a young man had chosen his prospective bride and she had consented, and she didn't, and that this a bone. She didn't consent for shit, all right? He go ask the father with it, it don't matter what the fuck she think, all right? So that's a bone. A formal declaration of marital intent was made in the presence of two witnesses. The couple was then betrothed. The betrothal period was fixed by the law of Moses, of course. For a maiden, it was from 10 months to a year. For a widow, 3 months. For the time of her betrothal until marriage actually took place, a woman was treated if she was actually married. And that's true. Because if you go Deuteronomy 23rd chapter, 22nd or 23rd, all right, if you went and dealt with a woman that was betrothed, your ass get put to death. All right? And that's it on that article. All right. Now let's look. Let's see what goes on in a bar mitzvah and a bat mitzvah. All right, to show you, hey, you can't get around this. It's very simple. You just got to be properly educated. A bar mitzvah, and this is what the so-called Jews do to this day. All right, this is a hard part of their customs. Okay, they do this every year. They do it every year. All right, Orthodox Jews and unorthodox Jews. All right. A bar mitzvah is a Jewish coming of age ceremony that traditionally takes place when a boy turns 13 years old. All these articles about the ancient world, look, They're still here. This is something done in these modern times to this day amongst the so-called Jews. The ceremony marks the transition to adulthood. Then the boy becomes responsible for his actions and can choose how he practiced Judaism. And with the Lord, all right, a boy is liable for his actions when he turns 12. You commit sins, all right, now the Lord about to start fucking over you. I be telling my son that. All right, I got a son that's 10, you know, but when you turn 12, the Lord looks at you like you're mentally competent to know right from wrong, okay? However, the age at which a bar mitzvah can take place varies by community and even held later in life. All right. Orthodox communities, boys become bar mitzvahs at 13, while girls bat mitzvahs at 12. You see? So it's a boy coming out that he's a man, and a bat mitzvah is, hey, she's ready to bear children. She's ready to have a family. So what is this nigga talking about? All right. He's just playing on the people's mindset, man. All right? He's playing on you not having the knowledge and understanding of way things were done in the ancient world, okay? That shit off, okay? So, I'm about to funnel everything I just read through the scriptures, all right? I'm about to funnel everything I just read through the scriptures, all right? Build marriage in the ancient world. A woman could get married at 12, all right? And she was considered a woman at 12. And if you dealt with a woman at 12 in the ancient world, you were not deemed a pedophile. And that's the perspective our beloved elder apostle was talking about, okay? Now this is, am I going to get some before that? I'm going to start at Esther. All right, this is Esther. The book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 4. All right, it's Esther chapter 2, verse 4. And this is an account. Read this chapter. This show you how women were so clean in the ancient world. Before a woman came to a king, she had to soak herself in botanical oils for 6 months. She had to infuse all of those aloes, myrrh, and all those botanical oils. So when the king finally went in her, she just smelled like grace. Okay? Try to do them with the women out there in time. You're wasting your time. All right. So this account, Esther, the second chapter, is a beautiful chapter because it tells you the way things were done in the ancient world. Okay. And this is I'm gonna start at verse 3. No, you know what? I'm gonna start at verse 2. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be a fair young virgins sought for the king. All right. They say fair young virgins. So now we just learned in the ancient world, all right, a virgin, all right. In fact, we're gonna get that word virgin in the blue letter. The word virgin just goes into a woman that was of marital age that was able to bear children. So she could be young as 12. Okay. You gotta take this modern day Western philosophy out of your mindset. Okay.
Strong's H 1330. Bethulah.
All right. And it just says a young maiden. All right. A young maiden. Okay. That's what the word virgin means. And a maiden can be the age of 12 years old. Okay. Bethulah participated in the unused root, meaning to separate a virgin from her privacy. Sometimes by continuation, a bride. All right. And you could bride in the ancient world at 12 years old. Okay. It's just a woman of marital age, all right? And these women were doing what? They were getting bought before the king. For what? To be his wife. When you read that account, to be his queen. And they say bring them in young and fresh, just like Apostle Tahar just said. He want them young and fresh, untouched. All right? Now, in Shushan, in the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had Salakia. I went down too far. All right. Verse 3. I'm gonna start back for where I was. Verse 2, Esther 2 and 2. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king. So when you read this account, man, he had different women come in his chambers every night until he found one that he wanted to make his queen, his queen, Salaki. All right. And those women didn't have no problem with sharing the king. All right. That's the way things are going to get done in our kingdom. It wasn't no, oh, don't touch my man, and they ready to have a cat fight. None of that was going on. All right, they was ready to share that. They shared that man, okay? Let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom that he may gather together all the fair young virgins. All right, and that's another thing, man. Kings didn't touch women that was dealing with other men that had been popped already. All right, that takes away from his royal pedigree to touch something that another man touched. When you be calling these hoes in this society queens and shit, man, nah, man, we getting the best of the worst at best. All right, these are defiled women that you ain't teaching them nothing new. You get you a woman in her 20s and shit, she done did everything in her teenage years. You ain't teaching her nothing new. You ain't doing nothing to her that somebody else haven't done. It said the king wanted fair young virgins. I mean, you gonna teach her a virgin, she don't know nothing. You teaching her everything. That's what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like, okay? Unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the women. So he had a harem, okay? We're going to have harems, Zaki. All right? Unto the custody of Heads, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things be for purification be given them, all right? So our women are going to be super, super clean. There ain't going to be no smells, no stink. All right, before they get to us, they're going to be to purify their bodies 6 months straight, okay? And let the maiden which pleased the king be queen instead of Vashita. And the thing pleased the king, and he did also. And when you read this account, he got rid of his queen that he had because she was insubordinate. She didn't keep his commandments. Now let's get this word maiden in the Hebrew and see what we come back to, okay? This is how you get properly educated, so you won't be calling when a man speaking the way things were done in the ancient world. You won't be firing off demonizing men for telling the truth like that nigga did, all right? All right, it means a girl, a damsel, a female servant, a girl, a damsel, a little girl, all right? And it's not talking about a little girl that can't bear children, but even little girls were called damsels, all right? Damsel and maiden are interchangeable. Of young woman, of marriageable age, a young woman, see? A concubine, all right? A maid, female attendant, female servant, all right? Now let's see how, you see it said damsel right there. So let me get a precept. I think it's Matthew 5. To show you how young a damsel could be. All right. You got to go on these words. This is Matthew 5 and that's not it. Oh, it's Mark. I need Mark 5. It's Mark 5. I stand to be corrected. It's Mark 5. Okay. How young can a damsel be? All right, let's see. All right, this is Mark 5 and 41. And he took the damsel by the hand. This is the young girl that had died that our great king brought back to life, and said to her, Talitha cumi, which is being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, arise. And straightway the damsel arose and walked, for she was of the age of 12 years. You see? 12 years old. She was old enough to marry. Okay? She was old enough to marry. The damsel was 12 years, and they were astonished with great astonishment. So it shows you a damsel is just at a childbearing, an age where she could bear children. And in the ancient world, if you could bear children, and your breast was enough, when you have that child, you could feed it milk. All right, you was deemed a woman in the ancient world. In this day and time, you're going to call it a child. All right, and this child, man, in this society so warped, man, they be calling 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds. Oh, man, he's just a kid. Man, when Mike Tyson was 16 fucking years old, he could beat up most men that was 30 years old. When Mike Tyson was 16 years old, he could beat up most men that were 30 years old in all of America. All of America. When LeBron James, I just seen the crazy nigga Ron Artest talking about LeBron James. He said he played LeBron James when he was 15 and 16. And he said when LeBron James was 15 and 16, he was good enough where he could have been playing in the league. These are men. Okay? These are men. America got us thinking backwards. The philosophies, the education here is the way we think on such a low level. Okay? LeBron was 15 or 16, man. He wasn't no child. He wasn't no kid. That was a full-grown fucking man. Okay? When a woman is at age where she could bear children in the ancient world, she was a woman. All right? So these guys are going to be judged for their slander, man. They're going to be judged for their slander and their lies. And another thing, they just flat out teaching lies for filthy lucre. They making merchandise of the simpletons. Okay, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 16. All right, it's aforetime written. And the damsel, here go the word damsel again. All right, this is talking about, I think this is talking about Rachel. No, it's talking about Rebecca, Salakia. Stand to be corrected. And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin. All right. And what we just said, a virgin is just a woman of a marriageable age. Okay. Let's get that word damsel. Let's get the word damsel. Let's see what we come back with.
Strong's H 5291. Na'ara.
H5291. All right. A girl, a damsel, a female servant. Here we go again. A young woman, marriageable young woman, concubine. Okay. A prostitute, maid, female timber, female servant. So what we want out of all those definitions, because all right, when we talking about marriage, this is Abraham's servant going to get Rebecca for marriage. So the little girl don't apply to this scripture. All right, he went to get a young woman, marriageable young woman of marriageable age. All right, that was fit to be a wife to Isaac. Okay, that's what a damsel is, and a damsel could be a damsel at 12 years old. Okay, we just brought that out in the book of Mark. Okay, and let's see what the brother did with his damsel. All right, let's see what happened when she came down off that camel. This is I'm gonna go back and read that again. This Genesis 24 and 16. Let's see what he did with a young fresh behind. One of our matriarchs. All right, and the damsel was very fair to look upon, so she was a young tenderoni. All right, pretty young thing, PYT, a virgin, neither had any man known her. So that's what make you a king, man. You're not a king when you use goods, spoiled goods. All right, now because of the present distress, like Paul said, all right, we got to pick the best out of the worst. But the word princess and all that, queen is just used loosely. When you go to the etymology of queen, it really fits them. All right, and she went down to the well and filled the pitcher and came up. She served. You know, the brother seen good qualities in her when he went to go find her. All right. Let me go. We'll go down to 67 now. All right. Now let's see what happened when he brought her to Isaac. All right. Let's see what Isaac did with her. With the young damsel. This is Genesis 24 and 64. And Rebekah, the young damsel, the young girl of marital age, lifted up her eyes. And when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. All right. She was ready too. The Holy Spirit was on her too. All right. Because what did they do? They bought for father Jacob. For he said unto the servant, what man is that walking in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother's tent. All right, and that's what marriage was, man. You got the business clear, man. All that court and shit. We ain't do all that shit, man. Look, we're gonna talk after we get the business clear. Then we're gonna learn. Then we're gonna talk. All right. And took Rebekah. I mean, he had sex with her. All right. And she became his wife. Sex consummates marriage. All right. And when he had loved her, Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Okay. So that's the way things are done in the ancient world. And you can't apply the way things are done nowadays to the scriptures. You can't do that. All right. You're doing everybody a fucking disservice when you do that, man. All right. If you teaching the way things were done in the scriptures and you're speaking from the perspective of the way things are done here in these modern times, you're doing everybody a disservice that listens to you. All right. And you're teaching lies. Okay. Yeah, that's right, brother. Read some of your precepts too. Oh, yeah, you was cutting up. What it is, Hebrews 4 and 12. All right, you was here for the duration, huh? Shalom, brother. Yabashima Shabrakatah. I see you, Kanaya. Shalom, brother. All right. Yes, brother, that's a good one. There's Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. All right. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet and know that I have loved thee. And see, the reason our people think the way they think is because these Amalekites, they're the one put all these philosophies in the earth and lead our people astray. But then what's the whole point of them having bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs? All right. Because they're giving you context clues. That's the way we did things. 12 and 13. That's when you became a man. All right. Their job is just to keep us away from the way we did things in the ancient world. Yes, brother, all Apostle Tar did was teach about ancient customs, brother. He wasn't saying he doing that in this day and time. All right? If a brother in Great Millstone do that shit right now, you gone, you X'd out, you kicked out, man. You getting kicked out of the church, man. You all things are lawful, but everything's not expedient, and you're going to get the ministry blame. All right? He was just having a conversation with some dildo head ass niggas that's drunk off of Western philosophy, and they choked at the word. Okay, this is Second Peter 3 and 1. This second epistle, beloved, I know I write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. That's what the apostle was doing, telling you the way we done things in the ancient world. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. It's written in another place. You once knew this. Okay, that's all going on, man. The Lord giving us our customs and our culture back, man. All right, shit. I like right now. I give one of my beloved brothers in my camp. All right, I got a 4-year-old daughter. All right, he has a 4-year-old son. Me and him make a bond. I don't want to rock the Zawil to elect. We make it through Jacob's trouble. You got him. I got my daughter. Look, brother, we're gonna have a marriage. We're gonna do it in the kingdom. I'm gonna give my daughter to your husband, to your son, and we're gonna do that thing. All right. And these little children, they back, they 4-year-olds. They don't know what's going on, but her husband is already picked for her. She don't have no say in the fucking matter, man. All right. I don't want to write this out. That happens, man. Me and one of the brothers, we talked about it before. All right. That's the way things are done. That's getting put back into our remembrance, man. Okay. This Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. And see, and it don't look like ASAP is not getting reunited with his heritage. All right, he's chose the way of the heathen. You pedophile, you looking at a 12-year-old man. Come on, you sound like a damn so-called white man. You sound like a Westerner. All right. You supposed to be a doctor of the law. You supposed to know the way we did things in the ancient world. All right, you drunk off of Western philosophy, nigga. Okay. So with that, I don't want to write this out. This was edifying to the hearers. I'm gonna give infinite honors to my heavenly Father, my great King, Yahweh by Shemi, I was shy by Shem Hara Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and other bishops, a great millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai, pushing his beloved truth across the four winds. And sincerity and truth. Shalom. I don't want a Bob, and DTA, man. Bob, DTA.